Authority is splitting. And a lot of people still think authority belongs to the people with the titles, the money, the microphones, the buildings, the systems, the uniforms, the scripted announcements, the polished faces standing in front of cameras telling the public what reality is. But that is the old world authority. Old world authority is coercive. It is inherited, it is enforced, it is upheld by fear, repetition, false permission, and the constant performance of control. It needs people to believe in it, because without belief, without compliance, without the public feeding it attention, it starts to crack. And that crack is already here. You can see it in the way the structure speaks now. You can see it in the way people are questioning things they used to accept without thought. You can see it in the way the old script no longer lands cleanly. The posture is still there, but the force behind it is weakening. That is because false authority can only hold for so long once source correction begins moving through the field. On the other side of that split is something most people still do not understand. New World authority does not belong to the richest person in the room. It does not belong to the loudest person. It does not belong to the one with the best branding, the biggest following, the neatest image, or the most socially acceptable life. New World authority belongs to the ones in alignment. That could be someone with almost nothing. That could be someone in transition. That could be someone living alone. That could be someone cut off from the crowd, stripped back, with no outer status, no applause, no protection from the old system, no comfortable identity to hide behind, because real authority was never about what you own. It was never about what they gave you. It was never about how well you fit inside a dead structure. Real authority is energetic. It is spiritual. It is structural. It comes from what line you are actually standing on when everything false begins to fall. And that is why the old world cannot understand the new world. Because the old world still believes power sits in institutions, in hierarchy, in coercion, in false order, in possession, in image, in control. But the new world is not built that way. The new world is carried by people who stayed aligned when there was no reward for it. People who held the line while being isolated, people who lost things, people who were stripped back, people who were not propped up by the structure because they were never meant to belong to it. So when this split becomes more visible, do not be surprised if the people holding the deepest authority look like the ones the old world overlooked. Do not be surprised if the ones carrying the cleanest signal are not the ones with the titles. Do not be surprised if the ones who looked like they had nothing are the ones who are actually holding everything that mattered. Because false authority was always temporary, and real authority does not need to announce itself every 5 minutes. It does not need to dominate. It does not need to coerce. It does not need to convince the soul by force. When it is real, something deeper in you knows. That is what's happening now. The old world has been left with its own distortion, its own control grids, its own empty rituals of power. And the new world is being carried by those who are still connected to what is real. Not perfect people, not flashy people, not approved people, aligned people. That is the difference. One side rules by pressure. The other side holds by truth. One side needs the crowd to keep pretending. The other side remains standing even when standing alone. And that is why this split cannot be stopped. Because it is not just political. It is not just economic. It is not just social. It is spiritual. It is structural. It is already here. And the people who can feel this message in their core already know exactly what I mean.